If you know your strengths and leadership still feels heavier than it should, this episode is for you. One of the biggest misconceptions in leadership is that once you know your strengths, everything should click. And yet, I see capable, high-performing leaders every day in my work with leadership teams who know their strengths well and still feel drained, disconnected, or maybe just constantly on. I want you to know, if that is you, that is not a failure of effort. It's usually a sign that something is out of alignment. So today I want to talk about why strengths are only half the story and what to pay attention to when leadership starts feeling heavier than it should. We talk about burnout a lot in leadership, and burnout is real. But what I see most often, especially in high-performing leaders, is misalignment long before burnout. Think of it this way. Burnout feels dramatic. It's just dramatic. There's a lot of emotion, a lot with that. Misalignment is very quiet. I think of these as early signals. They're little internal triggers that let us know alignment is drifting before burnout ever shows up. Misalignment shows up when leadership feels heavier than it should. It's when you're doing more, but you're trusting less. It's when you're productive, but maybe you're less present. These aren't failures, they're signals. So whether I'm coaching one-on-one or working with a leadership team, I see so many leaders who know their strengths well. They've taken the assessment, they can name their top talents, but they're not practicing their strengths intentionally. They're using them out of habit, but they're not using them as the situation allows. And there's a big difference between having strengths and leading in alignment with them. Strengths were never meant to operate alone. Your energy is one of your most honest forms of leadership feedback. Take a listen to your body and see what's going on. When I see leaders feeling irritable or impatient or constantly urgent, they often assume that something is wrong with them. Usually nothing is wrong. Those signals simply mean something is out of alignment. So listening earlier to your body and to yourself changes everything. That's why I say strengths are only half the story. So today, if any of what I've shared with you feels familiar, here's what I want you to hear. Misalignment is common and it's reversible. That's why I created the free 3-minute authentic imprint assessment. It's to help leaders like you see where their alignment may be missing. And what you can do is once you take the assessment and you see which area is off, you can get, we have tons of resources. We have a new book out called The Internal Revolution, and it helps you really know where you're off. And then you can go right to the chapter after you take the assessment, and it'll tell you what are some things you can do. You can find the assessment at danawilliamsco.scoreapp.com. We'll have that in the show notes. And I want to leave you with today is strengths matter. I love strengths and I try to live every day intentionally with my strengths. But now it's about living with my authentic imprint. So strengths matter. They're just not the whole story.